When you hear a guy say his arm looks as good as ever at the age of 43, I mean, how is that possible? How is he doing this? What are you seeing in Brady that he's still able to do this physically at that level?
It's Tom versus time again, but I just want to take you back to that ESPN documentary on Michael Jordan, Greeny, that kept us all going during this pandemic. Everybody was glued in, tuned into the TV, watching Michael Jordan. That is the way Tom Brady lives his life. He breathes, eats, sleeps football, and he is such a competitive guy. He's got something to prove right now. When you put someone who has that addiction to winning and that passion for winning in a new situation to prove himself, I mean, look out, man. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of the ball. I know RC would love to go in and compete against a guy like that, but man, he's going to be something this year.
Wow, I really like that thought. Lewis, pick it up from there. That expectation, that Brady was something to prove in a new setting. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm buying into it. Look, I think the word that keeps coming up with Gronk in particular, when he was talking about himself, when we were talking about him, then when he was just talking about Tom, is refreshed. And that's not just physically. I'm telling you, the mental part of this game, man, especially when you've been so successful and you've been at it for so long, and both Mark and Ryan can attest to the fact that playing in the NFL is a grind. It's a commitment. It's a lifestyle. Otherwise, the league will chew you up and spit you out quickly. So you have to be committed to it. And Tom has been committed to it in a way that only very, very few people have been committed to anything ever, maybe in life, period. I mean, this guy has said, look, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to go to the very end to compete and win. Are you willing to do the same? And so now for him to say that he's refreshed and his teammates talking about how refreshed he is, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Tom Brady winds up having one of those 4,000-yard, 30-touchdown seasons where he's completing close to 70%, well over 100 passer rating. And Tampa Bay is one of those teams that we're talking about at the end of the year going, dang, they really pulled it off.
Yeah, they could.
In a pandemic, no offseason, this man pulled it off. That would be great theater.
He could be the
I'd be there for it.
First ever to play the Super Bowl in his home stadium. RC, you weren't with us in our first hour when we talked about Gronk specifically. And as a guy who went head-to-head against him, obviously, during your career, and he's talking about moving like he did before and feeling so much better than he did at the end. What do you expect from Gronkowski as far as his role in this offense this year?
He's not only one of the best tight ends I've ever played. Rob Gronkowski is one of the best football players I ever faced during my tenure in the NFL. And I think this is a great place for Rob Gronkowski. So much has been brought up about Tom Brady picking the right place to have the type of weapons that he has right now at the age of 43. But think about Rob Gronkowski when you had to be everything for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, what Tom Brady was in the red zone as opposed to with Rob Gronkowski as opposed to what he is without. On third down, the same thing. Now Rob Gronkowski gets to pick his spots. There's Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, there's Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. There's so many other players. He's going to be a great inline blocker, and I think he is going to be huge in situational football for Tom Brady. On the goal line, third down, 2-minute type situation. Rob Gronkowski is a Hall of Fame tight end, but a Hall of Fame tight end that came up in huge moments for Tom Brady. And to me, that's why he was so important. Even with all the other weapons, Tom Brady wanted Rob Gronkowski because it's not just a security blanket. It's knowing that you have a guy that's on the same page with you that understands stepping up in big moments. And they did this so many times in New England. So that's when I think Rob Gronkowski is going to show up and he's going to add something for this team. And I agree with Lewis. This is going to be one of those MVP type seasons for Tom Brady. And even if he doesn't start hot, I expect him to keep going, keep getting better, and be on fire when the playoffs come. And that's when this team will be the scariest.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, learning a new system and everything else, but that element of familiarity with Gronkowski is there. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.